the largest state in Malaysia, is also called the land of the Hornbills. It is located in Borneo, east of Peninsular Malaysia, and its capital is Kuching. Although Malaysia only gained its independence 51 years ago, the state of Sarawak has managed to achieve an ongoing economic development thanks to a stable government led over the past 27 years by its chief minister, the Right Honourable Pehin Sri Haji Abdul+taib+mahmud.
When I first came here as chief minister, I thought that was the opportunity I had to see what I can do to raise the standard of living of the people and to develop the country as a whole. You build a society, a civil society where people are quite free, they have got good access to education, they can improve themselves, then they have to have the chance to interact much more positively and then be able to start bonding to become members of a new nation.
While Malaysia is still considered a developing nation, the federal government has decided to further boost economic growth and improve the quality of life of the people by launching 5 economic corridors throughout the country. In Sarawak, with the collaboration of the state government, the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy, or SCORE, has been launched on the 11th of February 2008. SCORE aims to transform Sarawak into a developed state by the year 2030. SCORE will be focusing on the central region of Sarawak, Muka, Tanjung Manis and Semelaju. Tanjung Manis, a port whose hinterland is resource-rich, will become a manufacturing centre and halal hub. Semelaju will become a new industrial centre, housing heavy industries such as oil and gas, aluminium, steel, glass, nickel and zinc. Muka will be an education hub and smart city, drawing not only academic and research institutions, but also skills training centres. 10 priority industries are being targeted for aggressive promotion. By then, 334 billion ringgit will be invested in the SCORE area.
Recorder actually play the role of a one-stop agency which will help to facilitate, to assist, to and accelerate or try to untie whatever knots that are there to make sure that investors' needs are addressed timely, adequately and effectively.
In 1992, the state government set up the Samajaya Free Industrial Zone in order to develop its high-tech and electronic industries. Since then, this industrial zone has attracted many foreign investors.
We are working closely with the state of Sarawak and we think we get a good support over there. I think the state understands that this kind of industry is very important. So we have ongoing discussions how to improve, how to get a good situation to educate the engineers and the people. We work close with the university and the state. We have R&D activities in mind, and then in addition there are normal things like tax allowance.
The Sarawakian government gave us incentives that allowed for certain growth opportunities. They also presented the opportunity of building a facility in a free industrial zone with the correct types of infrastructure support. For instance, water and power are key to manufacturing PCBs. So they've built redundant systems and they allowed us that growth that we needed over the last 10, 12 years of growth in this area because of that continued support.
While energy security has become the #1 concern of most developed nations, it appeared a timely decision for the state government of Sarawak to start utilizing in an efficient and sustainable manner its energy resources. Renewable energy production will be the key focus, as Sarawak has 20,000 megawatt of hydroelectric power potential.
It is important that we develop our hydropower because hydropower now is the cheapest source of electricity. These projects are huge projects. So in terms of collaboration, we will, of course, use foreigners or foreign expertise, not only to build the dams, but also in building our transmission lines. A lot of transmission lines need to be built from this dam to connect the dams and the score areas.
Sarawak is rich in natural resources, with abundant reserves of oil and gas, coal and silica sand. Foreign expertise will be needed in some specific areas. For instance, the Three Gorges Project Cooperation from China will be helping in the development of dams, while Rio Tinto Aucan is going to build an aluminium smelter.
With our partners, Cahaya Mata, Sarawak, Berhad, we're working to develop a large-scale, world-class international smelter, aluminium smelter, the Salco smelter, which will produce about 720,000 tonnes per year of aluminium. And that is going to be one of the anchor projects for the SCORE initiative. And developing around that business will be other downstream industries, which will, again, help to build the industrial concept that is SCORE. The direct employment for the smelter will be something like 1,500 people, but in terms of associated industries, that figure will expand to something like 5,500 people. So it's offering significant employment opportunities, both for semi-skilled, skilled, and trained graduate employees, which is a fundamental objective of the government, is to develop industry and develop people in the state.
Power generated through SCORE will be used by local industries and the whole country. It will also be used to create revenue when exported to neighbouring countries.
With the availability of renewable energy, especially through the hydro energy, SCORE can focus on the more energy-intensive kind of investments where this availability of energy can be provided at a reasonable price to the investor.
I think this region can be a key supplier to the needs of the big developing nations like China, India, and the region is able to meet the specialized needs which those countries may not be able to provide for themselves. So we have the resources, we have the talent, and with a supportive government infrastructure and supportive infrastructure, it can only mean success for this program.
Oil palm and timber plantations have been traditionally cultivated in the state, which is now pushing for a more diversified agro-business sector. Foreign investors from Taiwan and the Middle East have already signed MOUs with the state government, worth 1.85 billion ringgit.
When you look at the land availability in many countries, say China, they went into industrialization, so less and less farming land available, less and less farmers. And of course, there's more mouths to feed. So it will be an advantage for a place like Sarawak with a lot of land to go into agro-base.
Sarawak has got the oldest rainforest in the world, and with that, a very rich ecosystem. Biotechnology is one of the industries that the state wants to develop.
Biotechnology, of course, is a newer group or cluster of industries that have been identified. We have already set up our Sarawak Biodiversity Center, whose functions, among others, have been to start inventorizing our biodiversity resources, doing some research work in terms of extracting compounds from plants and so on and so forth. We can actually work together to explore investment opportunities in this area.
Because of the land bank available, a halal park is now being developed in Tanjung Manis.
We has identified an area of 16,000 hectares to set up basically a processing facilities covering basically more on the food like fish, livestock, poultry and others. In the long run, we are looking at a total investment of more than 10 billion ringgit.
While Bintulu, the existing main industrial city, the state wants to turn Similaju into the future industrial city.
The state government has indicated that Similajau, which is within Bintulu division, is to be within the SCORE area to be the heavy industries.
30 years ago, Bintulu's population was 14,000, which has increased to 200,000 today. Petronas and Shell were amongst the first companies to settle in Bintulu due to its abundant reserves of oil and gas. In the process, other downstream and related industries have now located in Bintulu, allowing the city to develop its infrastructure and especially its deep-sea port.
We are a deep water port, all around 24-hour deep water port. And for the region, in this area especially, we are the only port that have water depth of up to 14 meters, allowing us to receive up to 50,000 ton deadweight ship. We handle container, we handle dry bulk, we handle break bulk. So we can also handle the incoming raw material that's required for the big industries, and as well as handling their export product. There are a lot of opportunities for people to have business here. The infrastructure, like the port, is very modern and have the capacity and capability to handle all types of cargo. And with the availability of industrial land and the infrastructure, I think this is the place for investments in the future.
When you look at the ambitions that are in place for SCORE, you cannot handle this alone within the resources or building resources that you have in Sarawak. Even global upline, although we would like to say so, will not be enough to do all the projects that are there. Foreign participation is required. It is not only the expertise and the logistics that the big companies outside Sarawak is required to make SCORE happen, but also the financing side.
The priority of SCORE is to provide better jobs and living conditions for its people. But based on the size of the projects planned, some analysts fear there could be a shortage of human resources.
We had a rough analysis of what we ought to get from development of SCORE. Will be around about 70,000 managerial class of workers, 130 to 140,000 engineers and technical workers, 300 over 1,000 of semi-skilled people, and of course the rest are unskilled labor. Most of the unskilled labor probably will come from outside.
Universities and technical colleges have been set up, and the state government has invited 2 foreign universities to open branch campuses in Sarawak. All teaching institutions recognise the importance of providing the relevant education and skills to the workforce, who will be supporting existing and new investors.
There are 3 areas that we feel that we can contribute significantly under SCORE: human capital development, research and development, and consultancy services. We would like to see our involvement to be directly connected to SCORE, meaning that we would like to have our physical base in the corridor. The base can be in the form of technology park, research center, or even campus for UNIMAS.
We have to create very specific agreements with various industries here in research, in student placement to gain industrial experience, in bringing real life projects into the university, and perhaps even having some of those projects established and guided by the industries who will eventually hire the students, give them the employment once they've graduated. So we want to make sure our students are ready to work in those industry vacancies which exist.
We, Polytechnic Muka, I think we will undergo sort of major development in various aspects. One is the capacity development, and we have another one is the